Hi, fellow mama. I am so happy that you opted in to watch this short but hopefully insightful video. When I asked in my private Facebook group recently what some of the biggest struggles were for some other mamas, someone mentioned lack of time and energy. So that is what I want to talk about today, mentioning the big rocks, little rocks analogy. If you haven't heard about it, the idea is that the big rocks are the important things that you want to accomplish throughout the day. The small rocks are things of medium importance, and then the sand is miscellaneous stuff that can be left undone, or it's not as important and can be taken care of later, and so on and so forth. The idea of this analogy is that you have a container. I don't have rocks, but I have shells to show you. What happens with a lot of us is that we actually end up getting distracted and spending most of our time in a day paying attention to sand, so the things that don't matter as much. And we fill up our container of time with sand, and then what happens? The big rocks and the smaller rocks don't fit. However, the amazing thing is if you start with the big rocks, so you are intentionally building into your day things that are actually important, like in your case, it would be self-care, self-love, things to do that you truly enjoy that bring you happiness. Into your container first. You put it into your container first, and then you spend the rest of your day filling it up with sand. Then what happens is the sand will actually trickle down and find its way in and settle much easier, and more sand will fit in this way without you even putting any big effort forth. So that's the idea of this analogy. So what I want you to do is to be intentional about what your big rocks are, and I want you to move your self-care, self-love, happy moments that bring you joy, and make them from sand into the big rocks. It's very important. You need to be very intentional about it. So what I actually did, my biggest problem when I was a new mom, I was neglecting brushing my teeth and putting some makeup on. It really boosts my mood, and it takes only 2 minutes because I don't do anything super intense, just some mascara and some eyeliner. So what I did is I actually wrote out a few things for myself that I wanted to build into my day and put it on a wall in the kitchen where I would be able to see it. And then you can kind of build from there. Then another twist I want to add to this analogy is treating your energy as such. So the big rocks would be the happy moments in your day, happy thoughts, encouraging thoughts, empowering things that bring you joy. And then the sand should be things that we don't actually think about too much, but a lot of the things are happening in the backgrounds, like our thoughts, our emotions. The big one is us constantly worrying about our kids, about our future, or feeling guilty for not being with our kid or kids every moment of every day, or did they drink enough water today? Little things like that, or being resentful because your partner isn't helping enough, but you're not asking them for that help because you feel bad. All these things are running in the background and they are draining us. And so if we fill our container of energy with sand, so a lot of things that we don't realize are happening in the background, and then we put our kids to bed, and then we sit there staring at a wall and having no energy to do anything else, that's because the big rocks don't fit anymore. Our container is full. So what I want you to do is to be very intentional about what your big rocks are, and I want you to start putting your needs first, trying to build them into your day, because that is the only good way to actually kind of go through with it and make it a habit, a priority, and so you can feel good about it. So I hope this video and this analogy was helpful. And if you liked this video and you know of someone else who might benefit from it, feel free to pass it along, and I will talk to you later.